edition, the Soapbox, the Speaker's Corner of debate programmes, with me, Aki Nawaz, and my co-host, my partner in crime, Tariq Mahmood. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting which affects us all, and it's basically an issue which has many layers and many dynamics and probably very complex kind of approaches to it. But it's basically, who is proud to be British? And we've actually purposely called it British because we just wanted to have a bit of humour to the programme today. And we just want to go through some of the issues that affect us all, the debates and what's going on behind closed doors, because within my family and in Bradford and people all over the country that I meet, there's a lot of problems and a lot of issues that we never get to hear about on the kind of TV programmes. We never get enough time to deal with these complex issues. You know, we all know that there's a soundbite culture out there, and a lot of things we are being dictated about. So we want to talk about what it is to be British. We want to talk about a bit about the history, arts and literature, all these subgroups that are in there. So the lines are open, the telephone lines. Feel free. We don't have any guests today. Basically, me and Tariq are going to be spouting off whatever we think about these issues. We'll probably both get arrested at the end of the show, so we'll let you know what prison we're in, so you can come and visit us. But anyway, Tariq, another day, history. I just want to talk. Are you proud to be British or British?
Well, I think that the important question, Aki, is this, that all of us who live here, and many of the people who watch the scenarios unfolding in Britain, what has happened is that, you know, we are constantly made to prove our loyalty. You know, at the moment, they're ramming home this issue of community cohesion. But this is not new.
They assimilated. Then there was this thing about, you know, we've got a British culture. Why aren't they being British? Not that long ago, you had Norman Tebbit. You know, with the cricket quote. I'll read the quote out for you. Then I'll come out. Norman Tebbit said in an interview to the Los Angeles Times, "Which side do they cheer for? It's an interesting test. Are you still harking back to where you came from?" That's being said today in different ways.
Actually, you have actually missed that because you said you can only have one master. That quote
Of opportunities that come up. Who will trade on the backs of Muslims? You know, and of course, on the other hand, there's plenty of Muslims who are going in, you know, jumping into bed with the secret agents of this country, who are taking money by this way, that way, even forming new religious bodies.
Well, I've always said that in terms of the current conflict, we just deal with it briefly, but if any Muslim says we need money to solve the problems, you know, in our communities, you know, with the backdrop of, you know, terrorism or whatever extremism, is a complete and utter liar, because you know, foreign policy has always been the issue for me for years and years, and that's what causes the conflict to arrive here. But what is it with the establishment that it loves? And I just put my hands to my head and I thought, he had to go so far back, and I find the same, you know, thing, you know, where people only refer to kind of the Spanish, the Inquisition.
Yeah, that's not fair. What you have?
I think we've got a caller online. Yes, caller, can you give your name and your bank account number, caller? No, your name?
My name is Nazia. I don't know why. I'm just wondering why your screen has got a question written on it. Who is proud to be British? Is there a reason for a P rather than a B?
We just wanted to add a bit of humour to the word British.
Well, actually, no. It is a bit more complicated than that, Nazia. Look,
right.
Nazia.
Are you going to play on it with no mistake?
No. Actually, we've had enough. You know, I am in my 50s, and since I've been in this country, I've been trying to work out a British care, and what on earth are we all supposed to be? How do we become what the masters want us to become? I mean, I say that whatever the B, if we put the B in front of it, then certainly I can see evil. I can see evil stretching into history if we put a P into it, I can at least begin to understand that there's some hope left.
Oh, what kind of hope does P give you?
Well, the P in itself doesn't give us much hope, but the point is the change in Britishness may do. Okay, thank you, Nazir.
Nazia, what is it? Sorry, was there a point?
She made a very good point.
Yeah, but
Coming back onto the thing now, you know, you end up producing, I mean, you mentioned the word punk,
yeah.
you know, oh my goodness. When I was growing up and I saw people like yourselves, you know, I mean, you're the guys who had this multicolored hair and all, natji payonis, you know, nakaj, buksue and zipan shipan, is that?
Yeah.
I mean, what made you go down that road?
We were just Malangs, that's all we were. I mean, you know, there was no Malang culture in Britain.
Because in Malang we thought any zipan badi hai.
They can, you've seen what they were down in Pakistan.
Yes, I've seen what they were, yeah.
But the point was rebellion for me was very important because not being British was not interesting to me. Even from being within our own community, being Asian and having this kind of big brother attitude at them particular times wasn't interesting. I wanted to break free of all them chains and went into the circle. Who is it?
One Kashmiri, don't want to tell my name. I have a question for both of you.
Go on.
My question is this: what is the problem? Even we people come a member for House of Lords or a member of Parliament or any institutional position we achieve or academically, but still we are a third-class citizen in this country with the multilateral institutions treat us as second or third-class citizens. We proud to be British, but why we are not accepted in this society? Like the intelligence services treat us like a dirt, and the police at the present time with the new legislation and rules and regulations bringing and hammering us and hammering our youngsters. Where do we stand? Where do we stand and what shall we do to protect our youngsters, to protect our liberties, to protect our human rights?
Caller,
Thank you, it's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Caller, but if you're still there, why do you say you're proud to be British?
I'm saying we want to be proud to be British. But what is the proudness is there. But we are not accepted. And internationally we have a problem to rewrite the human rights legislation. And where is the human rights? Does the human rights exist? Why we are treated inhuman?
Okay, thank you, caller. I mean, I've always said that. Thank you very much. I've always said human rights are for human rights.
No, but I mean, human rights are for human rights is what Aki is saying. I think that's very wise. But first point is, I think he's made a very good point. Not giving your name itself speaks a volume.
Yeah.
Why do we ever feel we have to hide our identities?
Yeah.
Number two, I don't think, caller, you know, I'm proud of what is termed as British, but that doesn't mean you can't hold that feeling. What you're talking about is the fact, I believe, that we are, in a sense, never been full equal citizens in this country. Now, it's a bit complicated, this point.
Yeah.
We do have similar legal rights, we can have similar political rights, but I think our world is linked globally. So long as our countries of origin are held effectively enslaved, denied the basic rights that are out there, we're not going to get them here. But one...
sorry, we've got another caller.
All right, let me finish this.
Okay, go on.
The question, we will come back on the question of how do we protect our civil rights after the call.
Okay, yeah. Caller, can you give your name, please, if you want to?
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is Shahid calling from Birmingham.
Assalamualaikum, Shahid. How are you doing?
How are you? All right.
All right.
From Paris as well.
Well, Islam Shahid.
Yeah, basically, I've been listening to your show. I think this subject that you picked is quite a prickly subject. No doubt, I'm sure we've all had many debates and discussions about it. I think regarding integrating into British society and being British or whatever, the point is that myself personally, and I'm sure you guys have as well, I mean, this question has been asked to many, British, English people. Can you explain to me what is being English or being British? Now they can't put their finger on it. Now they can't tell us what it is. How are we supposed to know what it is? Now if it's a matter of, well, you know, being British is having a pub, is having a pint, having a Sarnie sandwich or whatever, well, we're not going to do that, because there's lots of English people that don't drink and that don't eat, you know, Sarnie sandwiches. So, you know, what is it having a curry on a Saturday night? Is it throwing up after getting drunk on the street? Is that what you want me to do? The problem that we have is that as Muslims, I mean, we're talking about Asians, but as Muslims, you see, how can I integrate into a society when if you say, well, you know, we need to go to their houses, need to come to our houses. In our homes, we have a partner. You know, we have a separation. You know, if I go to their house and, you know, and how am I supposed to, they got a dog there, the dog starts licking my trousers, and then how am I going to go and do my prayers? Because I have to go and change my trousers. You know, there's so many technical issues that when you talk about integration, how do we integrate with society? Now, you know, and how much have they integrated with us? They're the majority. How many times do they invite us to their homes? When you go to the workplace, you know, unless you don't behave like them and act like them, you're never ever accepted by them. If you try to show your own personal identity, oh, there's something wrong with you. But then when they show their identity, what's wrong with that? Look at all the British on the Costa del Sol. Do they integrate into Spanish society? Do they all start speaking Spanish? They open their own pubs, they open their own fish and chip shops, they want separate accommodation, they want to keep their own culture. But no, you're living in Spain, adopt the Spanish culture. Why don't they do that? Nobody makes programs about them, nobody speaks about them, nobody says anything about them. But if we want to assert our identity, for some reason we're weird and there's something wrong with us.
Great. Shahid, thank you very much. I was sorry
Thank
to
you,
cut
Shahid.
you off. I know you're a big guy. And
Well, the first point is, actually, Shahid, we are British. We may not like it. I never said the question of what we are, we have to necessarily like. We are very British. We don't have to be proud of it. But still, we are what we are. We don't have to be ashamed of it.
I find that very offensive.
Well,
to be called British. I don't even want to be called British. So why are you telling me that I'm British?
well, because that is not an issue. The issue here is that, you know, we are what we are. We carry multiple identities. Now, what the caller before Shahid, and linking on to what Shahid says, the caller before Shahid says, how do we protect our civil and human rights? The first point is we've lost the civil and human rights, and we're continuing to lose them. We are living on a soft edge of a police state. Whatever happens in this country and Western Europe happens on an industrialized level. When your civil liberties go, they will go in an industrialized fashion. Imagine the Jews of Germany. We're not that far off, but they haven't put a cross on our doors yet. However, we cannot get our civil liberties without the population of this country actively getting theirs. Conversely, if we don't have the civil rights for ourselves, the vast majority of the British population will not have those.
You know, let them. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut just because they want me to buy into their lies and deceit. You have every right to speak out and challenge these issues, which we're challenging hopefully here, and we'll go on. But white flight, we didn't talk about white flight, which is really important for me.
I'm not sure this is right, you know, the whole concept of white flight. I mean, you know, if someone Gores have got wings and no, what?
Really, and they've always left our communities. Wherever we've moved to, even if we move to good areas, they've eventually left. They don't want to live with us. They always talk about ghetto. Look, you know, the middle class don't really like to live with the working class. The working class don't really like to live with the, you know, the rich class. I mean, segregation segregation and ghettoism happens throughout the world. It's not just an exclusivity to the Asians or the Muslims.
You're dealing with class.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the colour. And very, very important before I go on to this point, black only exists in the white world. You know, you're only a black man in the white part of the world, not in Africa. You're African. We were only Asians in Britain. You can't be Asians in Asia. You're Indians, Pakistanis, Kashmiris or whatever. The same applies to white. White is a political concept.
Yeah.
When we came over here, what happened was that, you know, we took the jobs that white workers didn't want to do. They were absolutely disgusting jobs in the mills, the shift work, the dirty work, the underpaid work. There is a difference in the reasons for moving between in the working class ghettos and the middle class affluent areas. You know, the first point was that the workers, this was the first time they got a chance and said, get out of this place. We were coming, remember the people who came from Pakistan and India and wherever they came from at that time, they were already well off. You had to have enough money to get onto an aeroplane.
Well, some people borrowed, that's not entirely
You
true.
had to
but
have the ability to borrow.
Yeah.
If you had a ready with 4 Malte on Paji, nobody was going to lend you an airfare.
Having 4 Malte these days is quite a big thing, you know.
Well,
But anyway, we're going to be running out of time. We literally have a last minute. Can we just talk about the future quickly? What advice would you give? Because I know that probably after this show we'll probably both be locked up in
We're not going to get locked
Belmarsh. But so give the last bit of advice you would give to people.
People are watching. We believe, if you believe what a government, this government, Pakistani government, any government is doing wrong, you are right to believe that. If we have to organize, we have to organize because we don't have a choice on it. We do not have to capitulate on our thoughts. And when we discuss the question of British, we put a P in front of you. That's because maybe it's time to change. And a lot of Scots would agree, there's no room left for the Union. Get rid of it. Maybe a new world will come. Now, so fundamentally, change has to be brought about. We live in an era of darkness. It's got to end, but it's got to be brought to an end.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're coming, I think, really to pushing the bar. We won't be here for the next few weeks for refurbishment or probably jail food.
You know.
And
I think you want to go to jail.
but we just want to say thank you for supporting the point. We'll be back hopefully inshallah soon. All I want to say is that please speak out about the injustices. We don't want to be a subservient community. Too many good people. The first generation that came here, people after that fought for a lot of good things. Just empower yourselves, speak out, learn not to kind of become a slave to the system and buy it. Thank you very much for joining us. And from me and Tariq,
thank you. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll meet you again after a few weeks. We're taking a recess to think about what we've done and whether we have any right to put what we do into your minds and houses.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
We done? Oh yeah. Oh God, I haven't responded to that email yet still. Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's alright. We can rant and rave till the cows come home. Huh?
Yeah.
I think maybe that's all you should do.
Alright, some comments, quick comments. Are you happy with today's program?
Well, it's alright, it's a matter of trying to unpick a very complicated process and say what you can. And hopefully make a little dent in the armour, but it doesn't resolve the issue. The issue is still there and we're still here.
Quick comments for today's
I think,
program. Response
I
to the
think,
people. Yeah.
I think the way me and Tariq feel about things is just actually reflects what a lot of people feel on the streets and grassroots anyway, so I've got no problem with that. I just think it's a sad indictment on British society. I think the British have let themselves down and they're not enlightened enough to look at the great canvas and take good advantage of it.